Hey guys, I'm Brittany,
I'm Maria.
and this is the Be More podcast. We're back. Da da
We've
da
been
da.
away.
Honestly, the first thing I thought about though was you guys are experiencing what it's like to really be. Oh my gosh, here comes Morty. I told you they come in like waves, which is great because that's why I wanted to get two new cats because whenever like I could always shift out one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Morty. His
Yeah,
whole
Brittany
name
got
is
two. Go ahead.
Mordecai, but we call
Oh,
him Morty.
Mordecai. That's cute. Why
Sorry,
do you
yeah, I
think
got
it's
two new cats.
yeah, all I think it was Rick and
Kittens.
Morty with that name.
Well, yeah, that's why. Well, Dan wanted to name them Rig, so they're Morty and Rigby, and he was like, "Oh, they're perfect because it's from the regular show." And I was like, "I'm not naming them after characters from the regular show. Have you ever seen the regular show? It was like an early 2000s show. It's
Clips
like
of it. I think if it was like on, I just
it's
like
like
watch,
the
you know?
stupid levels of like Adventure Time,
Yeah.
but like it's a cool. It's not. I don't want to use the word cool. It's the wrong word. It's just a good mindless stupid show to watch. And I mean, Gunter is named after the penguin from Adventure Time, so I was like, it's fine. Fine, I guess we'll name them after.
Uh,
So
I see.
I don't hate Mordecai, but I was like, look, if we're gonna do this whole cartoon theme, like let's name him Morty. So we've got like a Rick and Morty cat, and then we have a regular show, Mordecai and Rigby cat. So he only gets called Mordecai when he does something bad.
Got
Um,
it. It's full name
but
status. Right.
anyway, I was thinking about this when I was like getting myself like, oh yeah, we're doing the podcast again. I feel like if you're a listener to this, you're experiencing what it's like to truly have a good like adulting friend relationship because we'll go off and deal with shit. Like that was why we stopped. Like I looked back at like when we stopped recording and May was probably when so much of the shit that was happening in my life like really was like
Oh,
go
yeah. I
go
mean,
go time.
if you just listen to those like last few, you were going through shit.
Yeah, going through shit. And so I feel like like all of my best adulting like friendships that are friends that I choose, not just like friends that are in my vicinity all the time. It's the situation is like, okay, I'm going to talk to you and we're going to hang out and we're going to be together and we're going to do stuff and we're going to text and we're going to do whatever we can. And then like it's dead silence for
For months.
months because
Yeah.
like shit is happening and then you just like hop back in like, oh hey, what's up? And like so if you're listening to us and you're like, what has happened? Like they didn't say they were going to stop doing the podcast. We're just experiencing true adulting friendship. Like you're one of us, you're here with us, and now we're back at it.
Yeah, life in our 30s, because Brittany also turned 30 in the middle
Oh
of
yeah.
this break. So,
Ta-da!
but
I've
no, we're
joined.
back. Yeah, no, Brittany
Yeah.
had a lot of life to live while I was we're naming this maintaining this episode.
Hashtag maintaining.
Yeah. So, I mean, you were away. How was your tour?
Um, sorry, I'm watching the cats fight.
Fine.
It it was I was much more prepared for it this year, but you know how you can never, the tour always reminds me that you can never be prepared. It's like a perfect example of that, like you're never prepared. Um,
Yeah.
but it went, for me as a person, I think it went better.
Okay.
I handled things better. It went better. I was happy with like myself when I left it overall.
Okay.
But you know, like shit happens and there were things that sucked, but I ate really good food.
That's all
And
that matters.
yeah, we went to like this like these awesome barbecue places.
Nice.
And like I'm a huge fan of Mellow Mushroom, so we went back to Mellow Mushroom. Have you ever been to Mellow Mushroom before?
No, I have not.
Okay, if you ever start to wander down south, I think there's one like as close as in Maryland. Go to Mellow
Okay.
Mushroom. Their pizza is
Yeah.
amazing.
Okay.
Um,
Good to
so
know.
yeah, I mean it was what it was. There was a night when I
It
woke up.
was what it was.
There was a night when I woke up. So I have this wonderful like roommate that I like sleep with
Mm-hmm.
that we
Mm-hmm.
share a room. And she is like the perfect person for me to be with. And there was a night like in the second leg of tour where I got, you know, like I get up to pee all the time, always have to pee.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I woke up, had no idea where I was. Because I mean, when for anybody who isn't familiar with tour life, you usually sleep in like a different hotel every night. Um, and I was really good at planning. So we had a couple nights where we were in the same hotel. And I feel like somehow that made it worse than if we were in a different hotel every night.
Hmm.
But I woke up to pee in the middle of the night, had no idea where I was. didn't have my glasses on, so couldn't see shit. Was so disoriented. And I guess I thought that I was in a different hotel than we were in because I tried to go to the bathroom and I walked directly into her bed.
Oh,
Like didn't wake her up. Like she was so funny. She had no idea what was going back. Walked directly into her bed, had like a moment of panic and was like, oh my God, where am I? How do I get out of here? Like, how did I get here? How do I get out of here? It took me a solid 30 seconds to
oh my
realize like, oh,
God.
okay. Like, no, we're fine. The
Yeah.
bathroom's over there, Brittany. Um,
Jesus.
so I feel like that story kind of sums up exactly what the experience is like.
That's nice.
Yeah, but I couldn't wait to come home because I had a million. I mean, I left right in the middle of like painting and like settling stuff in. Um,
Yeah, you literally like Brittany got moved, obviously. She went on tour. She left for a few weeks, whatever. Turned 30 in the middle of that. What else did you do? You got a couple cats.
I got
What
two
else
guests.
happened? What happened in 3 months?
Well, so okay, so here's the other like not fun stuff. Like, so I don't know if I said this on the podcast before, but again, like whatever, we can talk about it because it's happening. Like my parents are officially divorcing.
Mm-hmm.
A big part of a lot of the shit that I was dealing with when we were like about to stop had to do with that. I don't know why I thought it was a good idea to like go and try to buy a house while all of that was happening. And also a fun thing.
Distractions.
No, but
That's what it was.
it ended up being a really good thing for us. I also, I don't know if I talked to, I don't know if I, this was true the last time we had an episode, but I also started taking antidepressants.
You were in the midst of either you just
Deciding, I think
started
I
or
was,
deciding.
right?
Yes, yes.
Um,
Congratulations. How's that going?
Life is great.
That's great. That's great.
Life is great. Anyone who,
That's great maintenance.
and this is why I said hashtag maintenancing. Anyone who is on the cusp of trying to make the decision, like just do it.
Okay. Yeah.
Um,
I feel like a lot of my friends and people that I just know of are on something.
yeah,
Because this is the generation where we're just like we need something to get us by now.
yeah, I think that like on the grand scheme of things, it's sad that that's the case, but at the same time, I feel like previous generations just used to like
Drink,
just drink themselves
drink,
into oblivion or just
drugs.
string themselves out on drugs. So like at least
anything addictive that's unhealthy. Yeah.
right. So at least we're trying to like maintenance it. But here's the biggest thing. I don't know if I told you this. Did I tell you what my psychiatrist said that blew my brain? I don't know if I said
Potentially,
this.
but I go.
I'll repeat it. I haven't had, and I think it really helped me during tour because like talk about dealing with triggers. I haven't had the feeling of like actually experiencing a panic attack or
Nice.
I can't say that I haven't dealt with like feelings of depression, right? Like especially coming back from tour, like there's like this lull, right? So you get like sad about it.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't had the weight of things that I used to carry around with me. And my emotional response isn't overwhelming anymore. And
That's
I remember
amazing.
yeah, like I can have a balance. There are times when like, but like I have more of myself, like things don't blow up the pieces of my, yeah. And my psychiatrist, when I was like first talking about deciding whether I wanted to do it or not, I was explaining to him what I was dealing with and like why I was afraid to have it. And he was like, um, the question he asked me in like a question reference, like, but what if you didn't have to deal with it at all? Like, why are you making yourself suffer by saying like you, and I would be like, oh, but I can always come back from it. I can always handle it. And he was like, but why do you have to handle it at all? And I was like, shit. Like, why do I have to handle it at all? Why am I torturing my fucking self? And that's the thing that I keep coming back to is that I don't find myself being tortured by my emotions anymore. And as somebody who's an empath, as somebody who's super aware of what's going on in the world, it's so nice to have that safe boundary of detachment, not like oblivion and not like being an asshole, but like I don't automatically get emotionally invested in everything, and that
That's amazing.
is great.
Yeah, I'm on that cusp. I think I have to get over the I and the people that are on that I know of that are on medication tend to be white people.
Huh.
And I think it's much harder for, and I'm speaking from my experience, it's much harder for me and the people that I am around that are not white to make
Mm.
that jump because there's like that added, if you know, if your parents are immigrants, like that added, like, why the hell are you on medication for this? Just go, being Filipino, go pray or go to therapy or whatever. Like, even
Mhm.
therapy is just like, you know? So like,
Hard enough, yeah.
yeah, so like that, I think I'm at that point where I'm like, all right, like clearly people are on it and it's working and they haven't had, you know, it's not a stigma, but it still is, you know.
Oh yeah.
So
Well, there's an under like I still have moments where I get worried
yeah,
um
yeah.
about having to talk about it. The wildest thing is spending time with the next generation and traveling with them, trying to figure out what they're breaking. There are so many, like, it's interesting because we're worried about it. And there are so many in the next generation coming up that already are like just have been on it their whole life. Like so many of them. Like that's a
Yeah,
norm for their generation.
it's
Um,
crazy.
and it's interesting because it doesn't really seem to help them. If that makes, I don't know. I don't know if that it's like they're like so it's an interesting thing that I'm learning. They're because so much of their programming, it's like it's not just a chemical situation. It's like they're just trained to be that
Oh,
way, if that makes sense. Like,
it's
so
like just this,
it's like I don't want to say that it's a choice, but like it's just what they're used to. I don't know how to
like
explain it. Like,
that's just what's in. I don't know if that's even the right
yeah,
terminology.
I don't know. I don't know how to put
There's
this
some
into words.
psychology in them. It's some
Like
psychology in them that they're
I
just function to do that, you
Right,
know?
like it's just it's and it will I feel like it'll take that's why there's like what's that type of like behavior therapy? Like it's a behavior almost.
Mm,
It's like a
yeah.
like they've been
Cognitive
trained.
behavioral.
Yeah, there we go. Thank you. But it's so it's
Yeah, yeah.
interesting, but
Yeah.
I think for I'm not trained to do it. I don't want to do it. So I think it like when it really is just like something going on inside of your brain, like medication really helps. And I'm very happy that I
Yeah,
did
I'm
it.
sure. Yeah, I'm
And
trying
I
to
hope
figure. I think
that
it is like I don't want to do it. So it has to, like, I don't want to be this way, so it has to be like something in my brain, you know?
I
Which
literally got to that point where I was like, I don't know what's going on. I'm so desperate for like
yeah,
peace, you know?
I think like week by week when I go to therapy, because I am with a new therapist. I don't know if you know that.
No.
So so yeah, my 3 months too have been just like crazy.
Everything changes in that moment.
Everything
It's
in three
like
months.
even more intense than finding a new partner.
Yeah. So yes, because therapy, like shopping, if you will, I mean, you know,
It's the
is
worst
like,
thing ever.
yeah. So I have a new therapist. Is my update? Well, one of the updates, and she's also Filipino,
Oh,
which is
that's
the
gonna be so
added,
good for you.
which is an added layer that like I needed because I've
Yeah.
been through just like just a therapist just in need like when I was younger, and then like an Asian American therapist, but not truly Filipino. So I've like
Mm.
gotten to that. And now every week in therapy, I'm like, it's gotta be like just my mental, like hormonal imbalance type bullshit, like chemicals up in here. So I'm inching towards that, towards medication, but you know, we're still going at it with the cognitive
Yeah.
behavioral stuff. So, but I'm
You
glad it's
will
working for you.
you will find whatever
Yeah.
situation works best for you. I'm not stoked about the idea of like I'm gonna be taking this and it's like a
I know.
thing,
It's
but
like
like
something.
it it is what it is. Like
Yeah.
women take birth control. I could be
All the
taking like
time.
heart
Yeah.
medication. You know, like it is what it
Yeah.
is. Um, but I will say that my life is
Calmer.
and like
Yeah. Good.
again, it's all about what was the word we were using?
Maintaining.
Maintain. I was like, it started with an M, and I was like, this doesn't make sense in my head, all the words I was saying. But yeah, it's all about maintaining. And I feel like I'm just trying to like maintain my fucking peace, like as much as I possibly can.
Well, that's what 30's
Um,
for apparently, because I've been trying to figure that out too. I'm like, oh, 30 must just be like, because 20s, our 20s, or my 20s, I obviously can't speak for you. It's chaotic as
yeah,
shit.
fuck, yeah,
Absolutely chaotic. But
wildness.
then somehow I also turned 30 in the midst of our whatever. Like it
Yeah,
wasn't just
we're
Brittany,
both
it was also
30.
me. Um, and I feel like a fucking like another like light switch went off. I'm like, what was I being like? This isn't serious. This like like
There
what is happening?
is this beautiful, so I listened to this podcast with oh, what the fuck is her name? Julia something Dreyfus, the woman from Seinfeld.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
Julie,
I
Hillary.
have um I've come into this, I've always really been interested in older people, but which is why I probably always got along with them better than I did people our age, but
Yeah,
I am like fascinated right now by women who are older than us.
and how they've maintained.
Right, because
Yeah.
90% of my brain goes, how the fuck did anybody do that? Like how did women do this? Like how how?
Mm-hmm.
Um so she has this podcast called Wiser Than Me. I highly recommend it, but she talks to all of these older women. And I mean, she's in her 60s herself, but she talks to women older than her to like, learn shit about because they've lived longer. And she
Mm-hmm.
talked to wow, I'm really bad with names today. I see her face in front of me. Nope. The woman who used to do all of the 1980s like workout videos, she like started the trend of that. She was in Grace and Frankie.
Oh,
Starts with a
girl,
J. It starts with a J.
girl. I don't remember her name, but I can see her face.
Jane.
I would say
Yeah,
Jane
Jane
Fonda.
Fonda.
Yeah,
Yeah, teamwork. Okay,
we
get
got
it.
there.
Anyway, Jane Fonda, love her. And she's like fucking 90 something. That woman, like, damn.
She's still around. Yeah, God
And
bless.
she put like aging into this reference of like of theater because she's an actress, right? But she was like, when I hit 30 and when I hit 60, I looked at my life as being in three acts of a play.
Oh, that's
And
nice.
when she talks about turning 30, she was like, that's the act where I was just like, I was old enough not to give a fuck, but I was still figuring stuff out. So it was like, she was like,
Yeah,
that was the best act of my life because I knew like where to put my energy. And she's like, and then she said like her last act of her life, she just doesn't give a fuck and does whatever she wants to. But she said like that was like the best act of her life. And I'm thinking about it that way. Like this is our
yeah,
next phase of life,
a hundred
which is
percent.
wild to think about. But like this is the next act. And what do I want? Well, what don't I want
Yeah,
a part of it? Because now we have a
yeah.
choice.
I was
Like
like,
we're
now we're
adults,
like older.
we're in charge of our lives.
We're old enough. Not saying that like everyone at 30 is like old enough to like, or like can figure it out. But like I think for the both of us, like we now know we're maintaining. We're
We're
trying to maintain
maintaining.
shit. Like we're getting help from like professionals now. Like we
Yeah.
have our own space. Like we know which direction we want to go. And now like I think I texted you when you turned 30. I was like, this is like hopefully this is a calm year because I turned 30 a month ago and I was like, this is pretty chill. Like
I was texting my childhood friend, Ren,
hmm
and and they were like, "How is it going?" And I was like, my mental image that I texted her was like, "This is where I plan to nuzzle into the soft underboob of life."
no,
Like that's what I want 30 to be. Just like a chill nestle into some underboob
yeah.
and just like hanging out in there.
Yeah, like I'm straight chilling for the most part. Like stuff obviously still gets to me just because that's just how life is and like I'm,
Right. Always.
whatever. But like, yeah, it's really something clicked when I turned 30. I was like, oh, it really wasn't that serious, huh?
I've noticed, and I think a lot of it has come with like the process of dealing with this house and the process of dealing with what's going on with my family. Um and honestly learning so much in like the last year really being like, okay, these are what boundaries are.
Yeah.
And this is how if you don't like the way that people are treating you, or you don't agree with what people are saying, or you don't want to hang, don't. Like,
Don't do it.
say something. And it's something clicked in me. And a lot of it really happened over tour too. Like, I think I kind of reaffirmed it for myself over tour, because I had to handle like some pretty serious shit and talk to like people who are my elders, like essentially, and manage stuff that I wasn't okay with, and was like communicated through it. Like, this is how this is happening, and this is what I'm interpreting, and this is how I feel about it, and this is what I need to change. And
Mhm.
I was so proud of myself for doing that, that I just want to do that all the time now. You know, like the sense of
Yeah.
relief that comes from actually like planting your fucking feet.
Oh yeah.
And that's that. I mean, I always knew that I was going to be excited about being in my 30s. I feel like the 30s was always like, remember like the 13 going on 30 movie? Like,
Yeah.
it was, and everyone always used to be like, oh, you're like 6 going on 30. Like, they always used to say that. But that sense of like there's a little bit of stability in your life, and
Yeah.
okay, I can say this for me. There's some consistent stability in my life, and with that, and there's also some freedom that comes with that,
Yeah.
and
Hmm.
it's exciting as fuck.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, you basically same. You know,
Like,
like
I just hope that people
I have
find
some
it.
sense of, yeah, it's the sense of stability and then knowing kind of your worth type situation. Like, if you don't need to fucking be there, then don't be there. Like,
Yeah.
you know, even if it's like your family and friends, like if you don't want to fucking be there, then don't. Like, your energy is should be somewhere else.
The worst part though about having a home and having this place that just
Is yours?
wholly feels, yeah, like it's yours,
Yeah.
and like you've done stuff to it, and it's your vibes. The worst part is that you don't want to leave.
I've become a homebody. Not that I
Dude,
like
I don't want to
I
leave.
like I finally like put the last few pieces, like I got a new lamp back there, like the last few
Oh, I like
pieces
it.
of my place finally. Like I have little other things that like I just need to like clean up, whatever, but like now I'm like, why
Why would I
do
leave?
I what am I doing? It also is this is what I've been dealing with the last 3 months too. It also is easier and simultaneously harder because no one like y'all moved away from me.
I know. I love you. I'm sorry.
Like all of my friends moved away from where we
Dude,
all
because you
were,
live in the most congested area ever.
which is fine. Everyone has been like, why live here?
But
I
no, it
have
works for
my
you. I get
reasons.
it. I
I also have
understand it works
reasons.
for you.
So it's much easier, but also very difficult at the same time, which is what I've been
Yeah.
trying to deal with the last three
Yeah.
months. Um, my therapist called it. I'm in my grieving phase of my friendships right
Aw, I
now.
love
So
you.
I love you too. It's just like it's been very. I've been maintaining, if you will, but there are days where I'm like, oh, okay. But it is.
Yeah.
I'm just like, and also because of my dog, who's just literally just sleeping
True. Oh,
behind
yeah,
me.
where is he? Oh yeah,
He's just sleeping on the couch.
just out.
So easy to just like stay here. I'm like, well, you're
Right.
here, so like, and you
Right.
don't want me to leave, so.
Right. I mean, I
And this is
get
very
it.
peaceful. Like, this is my like my
Yeah, like
place. You know
you're
what I'm saying?
chill.
Like,
It's so
yeah.
it's so funny. So my mom, so I had so for people to give you guys like a timeline of how ridiculous like my life is. Um, I came back from tour, and literally 2 days later we adopted the cats. It was unintentional. Um,
Uh
but
huh.
I had seen them before I left, because I had to go run and get cat food. It's like a whole thing.
Oh, okay.
And I made the, I don't want to say mistake, because I think that like I don't 100% believe that everything happens for a reason, but I do believe that like the universe knows what's going on and is smarter than me. So
Yeah, it
I was
steered you
like,
into direction. Yeah, yeah.
right. Because it's 100% true that these cats were always supposed to be like in our family, because it took them 2 seconds to get acquainted.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
but they I was like, you know what, Dan, why don't we just go? Like, you have the day, you got out of work early. Why don't we just go and like look so you can see? Because we knew we wanted to get more cats. And well, originally we always said one, and then I was like, okay, we're gonna get two cats. I just started saying we were getting two cats, and Dan was just like, didn't
Yeah,
rebut. So I was like, okay, we're getting two cats. So it's like, why don't we just go and look at these cats that I saw when I was at the store? Like I felt something, and we went just to stop, and I didn't even tell him like what unit cage they were in. He just like went right to them. It was so what weird.
uh-huh.
And sat down. I was like playing with them, and I was talking to the woman behind, like who was the manager, and she was like, it usually takes a week to adopt them, like for the process to go through. And I was like, oh, okay, perfect. Dan will be off next week. That's perfect timing. And then I ended up like, I'm a like, I talk to anybody. I ended up on the phone with the lady who runs the adoption thing, and we're talking, and she's like, oh, okay, like it'll take like 72 hours. Then like 5 seconds later into the conversation, she's like, do you want to come pick him up tomorrow?
Jesus.
And at first I looked at Dan and I was like, are you okay with this? Because I can be home, but like you won't be home. You still have to work. And like I love my husband, and he was like, if we have the chance to take them out of here faster and like give them a home, like let's give them
Yeah,
a
Dan's a
home.
good guy. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was like super like, okay, I guess I'm coming to get you tomorrow morning. Which I didn't sleep a lot the night beforehand because I was so excited.
Of
But
course. Yeah.
it like now that they're here, like I don't why would I want to leave? Like everything I want is here. It's set up exactly the way I want it. It's comfy. But
Yeah.
like I said to you, when we first got on, look, if you're anyone who lives with your parents or like ever had to do chores with your parents, maybe you'll understand this. As wonderful as it is to have your own home, I get why my parents used to ask for help and ask me to do
Oh,
chores
yeah.
because the amount of work it takes to maintenance a house is just
Y'all that have houses,
ridiculous.
God bless, because I'm in a little condo situation. I just gotta, yeah,
It's
whatever.
insane. Like
It
I
is. I
when
mean,
we
kudos to
lived
y'all.
oh, well, we might have to restart this, but
Yeah.
when we lived in the apartment and everywhere that we lived beforehand, because Dan and I have lived in two apartments together prior, like it's different when you're coming into a place. A, first, it's been cleaned before you get there.
Hmm.
Um, and B, like it's not, I don't know, it's there's something about it is just different. Like I cleaned and I
Yeah.
cared, but like my level of care, I guess, wasn't as much, or for whatever reason, was different. I'm an absolute wild person about cleaning and taking care of things here. And it's so like, it's just so different when you've put it together from scratch and
100%. Yeah.
you've made decisions and you're like, it's all your stuff.
Right. Like you're not leaving.
Right.
Like,
And
like you're locked in for a long
I,
time.
I
Usually for
think
house.
part of the mentality is I am so grateful to have this place.
Hmm.
Like I have so much appreciation for the fact that we have a home,
Yeah, a
right? Like
100%.
we have,
Yeah.
and we did it ourselves, which is like crazy. Um, but and we have so many beautiful things. Like we have like our bathrooms are these like beautiful like granite, and it's like Dan and I really made the choice early on in our relationship that we were going to live below our means so that we could, when we were ready to like make a decision, that we can make a decision and get exactly what we wanted.
That's it.
And and we did that.
Hmm.
And like the just the gratification from that is so strong. Like there are nights when we sit on our couch and I literally am like, I can't believe this is our life. Like, and it's not like we live in like this
No,
huge,
but
ridiculous
yeah.
McMansion, which I would never do anyway. But like I just have so much appreciation for the fact that we've done this
Yeah,
and
I
that we
mean,
have this and that's accessible to us. And it makes you want to keep it, nice, right? So I hope
for
that never
sure.
goes away.
Yeah, no, it's
But it
just
is a
the
lot of work.
American dream. It's that like that American dream, like, and it doesn't have to be like an immigrant dream. It's just like now, like the American dream is to like own something. Like,
Right.
because with the economy
Right.
going to shit and just the world ending, if you somehow find a way in middle America to own a home, own your car, own something,
Yeah.
like that's just the dream right now. So like, I think we're both very grateful
Mm,
that we've done this and
absolutely.
before 30, basically.
Right.
Like it's
Yeah.
crazy. So
It's it's something I would suggest, and it doesn't matter when in your life you do it, but like it's that feeling of like, wow, we wanted this forever and we've accomplished it. And like, and I think that the other part of it too is I think that, and
hmm
we've looked at so many different houses, and like during the point where we were looking at houses, like I've studied people's houses. It baffles me when you see that people have houses and they just kind of let them go.
yeah, yeah.
I can't imagine doing that. I can't imagine, like, you value and you appreciate what you have, right? And I think like that's something that I'm grateful to my parents for like helping instill in me, even
Mhm.
though I definitely fought with my mother about emptying the dishwasher all the time. Sorry, mom. Um, like you have respect for the things that you get in life, right? The things that you
Mhm.
have, and knowing that it's so interesting. So I don't know if did you get the warning about like the tornadoes the other day when that other like a couple days ago when that storm came through?
No, I didn't. Not up here.
You might just be out of it. Like the thought in my brain of like, oh my God, a tornado could come through and just take all of this away from us.
hmm
And I was like, the irony. Could you imagine that story? Like you just moved in and now your house got swept away. That
It's a scary thought.
the I have such a grounded realization that nothing that I have is mine. Right? Like it's mine, but like I have to
Well, it
appreciate
could
it
be
while I
taken
have
away.
it.
Oh,
Right? Because
it could be
it's
taken away.
not nothing is
Yeah.
guaranteed.
Yeah.
So like I will get down on my hands and knees and scoop the little cat litter things that get stuck in between the granite in my bathrooms happily because I just want to take care of it. And that's how I feel about these kittens. Honestly,
Yeah.
I annoy the shit out of my bigger cats even more now. Like how lucky are we to have made it to 30 and still have our
Period.
health,
Oh,
have
just
more, yeah,
period.
period, have our health, and have more. Like you open the door and it's like, okay, look at all the opportunities you have now. Like
Yeah.
30 is going to be great. And I'm super stoked about it.
Yeah, no, I think um I literally this morning I literally sat down, put on a fucking one of my vinyls because I have this vinyl player, like record player
Yes,
here. Sat down with my dog and looked around. I was like, wow,
this is my life. Like
this
how
is literally my
wonderful.
life. How great. Like I can
And
do
it's
whatever I
just,
want and I can maintain my space and peace in here and
that's the best
it's
part,
great.
right? It's like I'm comfortable and I'm peaceful. And then you just appreciate that.
And that's truly just like the good part of life.
And I feel like my FOMO has gone away a little, which is really good too,
I'm
because
trying.
you like, when you feel really content and happy where you are, you don't, it's not always
Mhm.
easy, but like
Yeah.
it helps. It
Yeah, no, this
100%
helps.
helps.
For sure, like once I'm out of my brain, like once I the fog goes away, whenever those like episodes happen and I just literally this morning sit and just like look around and appreciate, I'm like, "Oh, the fuck, it's not
What
that
do I need
serious."
to be
Like
doing?
it's not
Yeah.
that serious.
What do
Like
I need to be doing?
I did everything I could. Like I got to this place and now I'm just looking around with all the stuff that I own and it's mine and it's my place and it's just like, "Oh, okay, this isn't bad."
I highly, I highly just encourage people to find
The peace.
the peace. And I will
Yeah.
tell you, so the another couple of fun things that happened, hashtag turning 30. So um I had a lot of like health concern things that were happening also during the
Mhm.
time that just seems like my whole life was cracking open. Um,
Yeah.
but so another thing that I definitely suggest, hashtag turning 30, is start tuning in to your body and getting things checked.
A
So I
hundred
had
percent.
two not fun scary things that I was experiencing in my body. I had found like a lump in my breast. I don't know if I even
That's
told, did I tell you
no,
this?
no.
Um, and because there is a history, so my father's mother had died from ovarian cancer. Um,
Hmm.
so I think I told you that I tested positive for one of the cancer genes. Did I tell you that?
Yes, yeah, you told me
Yeah.
this.
So on top of that, I was like, the fuck is going on right now?
Hot.
So I
Yeah.
have to go get that all checked out. Turns out I just have like fibroids in my boob, which
Okay.
women, if you tend to lay on one side or sleep in a funny position, you could start to create like fibroids in your breast. So fun, exciting thing to learn. And I literally was
This is
like
stressful.
not pain, like pain, like pain. And I was like, wait, I don't understand how I'm getting this. Like, what would I be doing in my life that's creating like this problem in my boob? And I literally like rolled over one night in bed because I tend to sleep like that, right? Like on the
Oh,
bed. And
jeez.
I
Yeah.
rolled into it and I was like, fuck. I was like, that's how I literally like smushed my boob while I'm sleeping. So that happened.
Mm.
And then I also got my first colonoscopy.
Oh, yay. How was that?
Everything came back clear, super
Good.
exciting.
Great.
Um,
You have to do that for because of your genetics. So,
Right, because of my
yeah.
genetics. You don't have to do it before. I think you don't have to do it before you're 40 for
I'll
like
say,
most people.
yeah.
But
How was
honestly,
that?
great nap, like
I'll say
great nap.
probably you probably had
Anesthesia
the
is
godsend.
wonderful. And I think another true testament to being on my antidepressants is I handled that whole situation so well.
Man,
Like I
that's
was
great.
so calm. I mean, you get like little nerves and stuff, but I
Yeah.
had the normal amount of nerves I feel
Like
like a regular
probably
person would
a
have.
regular person. Yeah.
I
Nice.
wasn't like I slept the night before, well, as much as I could taking that shit. That part was the worst. Um,
Yep.
I slept the night beforehand, even like in the office, like I was it almost kind of it almost made me nervous how calm I was. That was a huge testament to the fact that like, oh, this is helping.
I'll say drugs work.
Yeah,
Medicated medication.
yeah, like right
Like
when they're
prescribed.
prescribed,
Yeah.
right, and they're
Yeah.
actually meant for what they're meant for. So
Yeah.
yeah, like clean bill of
Nice.
health.
Nice.
I've
Good.
I'm finally making my family deal with their own shit and not taking on other people's emotional baggage, which is great. Like everything just seems to click at 30. So if you're upcoming 30, if you're getting closer to 30 and you're like, fuck 30, like they all those stupid videos about, you're if you're born in
Especially women.
1994, like yeah, fuck. I'm sorry, but I think that women have an emotional awakening in their 30s. I think that women start to have their sexual awakening when they get into their 30s. I think that we are just meant to be older because the world fucks with us when we're young.
Hmm.
So just step into it. If you're somebody who's approaching 30, step into it wholeheartedly and just enjoy the ride.
Yeah. Because really, I mean, again, I think we were both very emotional children, like
Mm.
in our empath feels. And like the
Mm.
world started to end in our brains, I'm sure, multiple times
And
before
like
we hit 30, and then we
the
hit,
world knew that and also seemed
yeah.
to always just like
The
take
universe was
advantage
like,
of
all
that.
right, like we're gonna push you to your limits, which I think it does to everyone, regardless if you can handle it or not. But
Mm.
then you just get older, and then you're like, oh, it's
No,
really not
bitch.
that serious. Like, oh shit, like I can survive until my body gives out naturally,
Yeah.
like as opposed to like the other unfortunate part that
Yeah. Yeah. I have,
um
yeah, that has
so hopefully
helped
people
so
so hopefully
much.
people get to that point in their lives. I think it is obviously it's easier said than like done to like just wait it out. Hopefully, everyone experiences that at some point.
And the waiting it out part is interesting
Hard. Yeah.
because you can choose to wait it out. Because I don't want to say that you don't get to like, how do I don't know how I want to do this. Sometimes you do have to wait. Sometimes there is a lot of patience that's required of you, but you can wait. I'm trying to think of a good analogy. You can wait by putting yourself deep in the depths of the war and just
Yeah.
wait there, or you can wait by like finding shelter and doing good shit for yourself, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, it's like when you go to sit and like wait at the car dealership. It's like I can sit there and stare at the TV or like stare at people around me who are yelling at everything, and like that's a waste of my time, right? It doesn't help me. Or I could like do something productive while I'm sitting there. Like you sometimes you don't
Me
get
every
to
time I get an oil
decide.
change.
Dude, I'm the most productive when I have to
Me
wait.
too.
Um,
I'm literally working like while I'm waiting.
you don't get to choose the time when things happen or
Hmm.
when opportunities present themselves to you, because I really do believe that life is so much of that timing, right? Like
Yeah.
opportunity presents itself, you have to strike. Um, you don't get to choose when that happens. So like you always are kind of playing a waiting game in some way, shape, or form, but like are you being proactive in that downtime? Are you getting yourself
That's yeah.
prepared? Are you preparing yourself to meet that opportunity when it comes to you?
Right. You can wait, but I think you still need to take action. Like
Right.
in the meantime, I think that's what it is, honestly. Because if you wait, you're gonna wait forever. So,
And
but
be
yeah.
extremely disappointed.
Right. No, no regrets.
Hashtag no regrets. Speaking of waiting and speaking of
Mhm.
getting older, um, I waited my whole life to see if they were going to do a like another Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh, are they doing another one?
No,
Oh,
but they
I was like,
wrote
wait.
a book about it
Oh shit. Oh,
that
that's brilliant. I did not know that. Are you?
I
I'm
didn't know
assuming
it
you're
either.
reading that.
Dude, I finished it in 2 days.
That's amazing. I mean, that is your jam, you know? Like
It
that is
is 100% my jam.
yeah. That's
So,
amazing.
oh, hey, baby, you need attention right now? Want to say hello? Oh, you're purring so loud. Wanna let me listen to your purr? Can you hear it?
No, unfortunately. Nope.
Because it's like in their bellies and not in
I
their
would say
faces.
it's not in their face.
Um, but so I
Yeah.
heard about it because someone on tour like asked was we were talking about like what they were reading and brought it up, and I was like, I'm sorry, hold the phone. What happened? And it came out last year. I feel like how is there not like a bigger
Books don't really get advertised that much. You know what I'm
but
saying? Like,
like our whole generation's like obsessed with this movie. Um so or like this world. It's called Long Live the Pumpkin Queen. I highly recommend that you buy it. It really was I think it was like $11, which is wild to me. Um
great price point.
um s- just at first I was not in it. First I was not in it.
Well,
At
do you
first,
read like is it do you read that type of stuff anymore? Like
well,
fantasy, like
it's I didn't think I was gonna like it. So apparently the genre of this author is like young adults, like mystery thriller,
okay.
which totally makes sense for the
That
Nightmare Before Christmas, right? Um,
yeah.
so I and I didn't even know like what genre it really fell into. I was like, I just wanna, I just wanna hear how the story continues.
Like
Um,
consume more, yeah.
I really liked it. Like
That's
I was
good.
surprised at how I liked the genre. I don't like scary, but like this has a little bit of like thriller in it.
Like a
And I
factor,
liked,
thriller
yeah, and
factor.
I liked that. So I might look into this author
Nice.
more. But
Nice.
I didn't like the beginning because it was like almost kind of beating a dead horse a little bit. And then it was like very like repeating the beginning of like the actual Nightmare Before Christmas, which I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like where this is going. Is it just gonna be like a,
Like
99
a
cent version?
retelling. Yeah.
Right. Um, dude,
Yeah.
highly
Wow.
recommend.
Nice.
Uh, it was really good. It was really good.
Good to
It got
know.
to a
I
point
didn't
where I was
know.
like, I don't want to stop reading. I want to know what's going to happen, which is like the thriller aspect. But I highly recommend if you are a fan of Jack and Sally, if you're a fan of The Nightmare Before Christmas, read it. And Disney, this is my ask for you to make it a movie because the description of like the characters and the places and like the visuals are so strong in here that I think it
That
would
it's easy.
transition into, yeah, a movie really well. So this is my
Nice.
recommendation read for the rest of the summer. Like I said, and it's like huge. The text is huge. It's like young adult,
Oh,
so it
that's
takes like no time to
yeah.
read. But
I'll say it ain't no War
I
and
was
Peace or
satisfied.
anything.
There were moments when I gasped out loud.
I love those books. I wish I could get back to reading. I just don't have the brain capacity right now. I've just been playing video games, which isn't like nothing, you know?
It's fine. You do
Yeah,
you.
exactly.
I am still trying to figure out what I've read so many like I guess books that fit under like the self-help genre that I'm like over reading. But now that I read this and I read a story, I'm going to the library today. You're gonna be so proud of me. Guess what I'm going to do like after this?
Oh, well, apparently you're going to the library and getting books, like getting a
Well,
library
yes, but
card.
guess what I'm doing
Like,
before that?
no idea.
I'm going to the movies by myself.
Oh, congratulations. I love going to movies by myself. I actually went to the movies by myself a couple weeks ago. Nice.
Amazing.
Congratulations. What movie?
I'm going to see Barbie.
For the first time?
Yes. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I laughed, I cried. It was very good.
So that's why I feel like I need to experience it by myself
It's
because of that.
very I went with Aaron. But
Legally.
we don't really like talk to each other. I mean, we do. Like we laugh when whatever. The talking that I do with my sisters in the movie when we go together is that we're judging people around us. So it's not about like we're like having our own experience watching the movie.
Right.
So I think it'll be great because I want to watch it by myself soon
Okay. See,
before it
good that
goes
I'm making a
away.
good choice.
Yeah, but even so, like, so good. I highly recommend.
So
You're
excited.
gonna love America Ferrera in this. You're just
I
gonna
mean,
love her.
I've seen so many gifs and like video shorts and I was like, oh my God, this is gonna be great. And I think
It's so funny. Ryan Gosling
what's
is so
so
funny.
funny is that I'm going into it knowing that my mom was like, I heard it was so bad and all the stuff I saw made no sense and looked so bad, which means I'm already gonna like it.
The older generation thinks it's like anti-men, and I'm like, you can't be anti-men when they're the people in power, but that's fine. Like, so
But that's part of the funny.
it is
Like
very
that's what's part of what's so yeah.
Will Ferrell. Sorry, Will Ferrell's in that. I don't know if you know
I
that.
didn't know that.
So fucking brilliant.
I
There's
can't
so
wait.
many A-list celebrities that are in there, and they're all. I will say, Dua Lipa's in there, and her acting is shit. But besides
Well,
the two things that she says in
when you
there,
bring all the people in, you can't hit 100 and 100 every time.
but Barbie was great. I highly
Oh,
recommend if people
I'm super excited. I was thinking about going and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna
just
go by
do it.
myself.
Do it by
And I was like, oh,
yourself.
Maria's
If
gonna be
you,
so proud of me.
yeah, I guys. One of the peaceful things that I've ever done to myself is just go to movies by myself. Like it's so peaceful. I went to the movies by myself because there's an anime movie that from Japan that came over. That was only showing for like a week, and obviously like no one in my realm watches that anime. I was like, I'm just gonna go by myself, and I had the whole fucking theater by myself. I was like, this is fucking brilliant. Like,
Amazing. Oh yeah,
oh,
I'm excited. And then I'm gonna go to the library and then I'm gonna come home and
nice.
hang out with my cats. Like I'm having a true like
You day.
nerding out by myself day. Right,
Great.
Bubby?
I took off today. Well, technically we have summer Friday, so I took my summer Friday. I haven't taken one yet, so and that's because of work stuff. And I cleaned, played a vinyl, played a couple actually. I'm
Yes.
actually going to a basketball game because I have season tickets to the New York Liberty.
Ooh, nice.
That's why like my stories have just been like in Brooklyn watching
Straight.
whatever, just straight basketball with Monica. Actually, I was like, "You want to come?" She's like, "Yeah, I'll come."
I
So,
love it.
so that's my day today.
I love it. I love it. That's been
Yep,
the hardest thing for me is like this is the first time in I think since we were 15 that I actually have time off and
that's
I don't know
crazy.
what to do with myself. So I'm really leaning into the like,
You
let's do
gotta,
me.
I was like, you gotta
Let's do
lean
me,
in.
Bubby.
Like my days off when I'm not like when I'm done like maintaining, if you will, my place and my peace. I literally just like what like I'm just doing whatever the fuck I want.
What do I want to do? What do I
Yeah,
want?
like
That's the
sometimes
greatest. And I'm
sometimes it's like
sorry, y'all,
building
but
a Lego. You know, like
like
it's something it's like
the
nothing.
the time between this is why I don't have kids and I have cats right now.
Well, I don't have
Because
anyone but my dog.
the oh you're don't okay the this is the time of life when you don't have to answer to anybody, right? Like the way that my brain sees it is if I have a kid right now, the freedom that I've got, right? We have the stability, we have the financial choices, right? We have all of these options, but if I have it, me as a person, I look at it as if we have kids, I'm giving all of that freedom, all of those opportunities. Bro, can you figure out your life right now? I'm giving all of that away to a human who, rightly would deserve it. But like,
Yeah, but
I want
are
it
you in the place
for
to do it?
myself for a little while. Like, I
Yeah.
want to enjoy the spoils of the labor of the first 30 years of my life by myself for a little while and with this guy. And I'll give you what you need, right? Yeah. But like,
Yeah,
so
I agree.
I suggest if you're like baby feverish, I suggest like just giving yourself a year or two, find something else little to love and just experience your life as your life. If you have kids, it's great too. Love them endlessly. But like that's the way that I see it, right? You
Yeah,
give
yeah.
instead of having that buffer of space for like you're giving that away. The hardest part I know for me is going to be like when we are ready to have kids is going to have to deal with the sacrifice of giving it away. That is going to with like being like, I have to give my this to, I have to now do this when I can't and I don't want to, but it's fine. We'll get there.
Yeah, which is why I'm
But
like,
that's why I know I shouldn't have them yet, right? I'm not willing to do that.
which is good because people are not that self-aware. You know? Like many people I feel like are not self-aware of that fact. And then they put themselves in situations, they're like, oh shit. Like I wasn't ready, you know?
I don't know any of those people.
Right. We don't know anyone.
Oy vey. Well, I missed you, dude. I'm
I
happy to
miss
see
you
your
too.
face.
Same. We have to actually see each other like not virtually.
Yes, we'll make it happen.
Okay.
I will drive. I actually really don't mind driving. And I'd mind driving places less now than I did when we lived where we lived.
Before. Yeah.
Yeah. I think maybe because like it's a nice drive. I get to drive through like woods. It's awesome.
Okay,
So
yeah.
we'll figure it out.
Okay, cool.
Listeners, we're so happy to be back with you. We're gonna be coming back. I don't know. Are you gonna where are we gonna release videos at the same time? Do you want to change the day that we release stuff?
I might do
What works?
I might do like a Monday morning now.
Ooh.
Give everyone something in the
Ooh.
beginning of like their work week and when they log on and they see a Spotify notification.
Hey, hey, something to get you going on a Monday morning. That sounds
Yeah.
fun.
Lovely.
That sounds great. Well, grab your cup of coffee on Monday morning and we'll talk to you then, friends.
Okay. All right, bye. I'm over it now.